It's a deceptively light new comic book week, but I have a feeling we're going to make up for it. Let's take a look at what's coming out so I can tell you what I'm getting. What's up, guys? BJ Kicks here. I buy comics, I read them, and I review them, all for your viewing pleasure. So if you're new here, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. Now on this channel, I do comic book unboxings, reviews, haul videos, and I even go over the solicitations to help you decide which comics to buy in videos just like this one. So if you're interested in that type of content, hit the subscribe button, then hit the bell icon. That way you're notified when new videos go live. This is another episode of What I'm Getting, the show where I go over all the comics that are coming out and I decide which ones I'm getting, and I show you my pull list. I show you what's on the chopping block and what's on the maybe list I'm going to make a game day decision on. Now, I love starting these videos off with the book that I am most excited for. But first, something I'm even more excited for, I get to announce a brand new channel sponsor. So What I'm Getting is now powered by Ultimate Comics. Now, if you are in the Triangle area, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, then I'm sure you're familiar with Ultimate Comics. They are the premier shop for brand new issues, back issues, all sorts of goodies, statues, collectibles. You can find them at your local Ultimate Comics shop with 4 locations in the Triangle. They've got a shop in Raleigh. They've got a shop in Durham. They've got a shop in Cary. Did I say 4? I said 4 because this Friday, November 5th, Ultimate Comics is opening a brand new retail location inside Crabtree Valley Mall. Yes, inside right there next to the food court where the old Think Geek was is now Ultimate Comics Crabtree Valley Mall. This Friday is the grand opening. I'm going to be there, so you'll see me giving out the last of the BJ Kicks bookmarks. So if you want one of those, you need to be one of the first people at Ultimate Comics Crabtree Mall. So I'm super excited about the launch of this new store and about this new ongoing partnership. So thank you, Ultimate Comics, for powering What I'm Getting. Now, without further ado, let's talk about what I'm getting because it's a deceptively light week. I actually looked and I have 0 Marvel comics on my pull list this week. And then I was like, oh, I can kind of go crazy. I can add a bunch of stuff. But no, it's deceptively light. Let's talk about it. Now, the book that I'm most excited for this week is, you probably guessed it, Static Season 1, Issue number 4. Now, this originally was supposed to come out like 3 weeks ago, and it got delayed. There were some, printer error or printer delays and paper shortage, all that stuff. But we're finally getting this issue this week. Now, the cover that I'm showing you is the variant cover, the cardstock cover B by Nicholas Draper Ivey. It is an homage to Akira or Akira. I've heard it both ways. So, so you can get this cover. I'm really excited about this cover. The cover A is pretty good too, but this is the cover to buy. Now, Static Season 1, written by Vita Ayala. This is going to be the last issue with layouts by Crisscross, which I'm super excited for issues 5 and 6 because I love Nick Draper Ivey's artwork and how kinetic it is, how action-packed it is. I'm excited to see how this series wraps up. That's got a cover price of $3.99 or at $1 if you're getting the cardstock variant. And I'm just getting that cover B. And since we're talking about DC Comics and Milestone, also out this week is Icon and Rocket Season 1, Issue number 4. Now, Icon and Rocket started off kind of like, for me. It was so close to the original that I felt like it was drawing comparisons and it wasn't really living up to them. And then Issue 2 came and I was like, that's quite a twist. And then Issue 3 came and I'm like, yo, this is an entirely different Icon altogether. So if you're a fan of the original series and you're looking for that, I suggest you read the original books. But if you're wanting a whole brand new adventure with Augustus Freeman and with Raquel Irvin, this has got that. I'm very excited to see how Issue 4 goes and how this story concludes as well. Written by Reginald Hudlin, with artwork by Doug Braithwaite. And man, I love these A covers by Torrin Clark. They're amazing. But this one's got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm just getting that cover A. Next up from DC Comics, of course, we got to go to Gotham with Batman 116. We're like 2 issues away from the conclusion of Fear State, and some interesting things have developed. Fear State has finally picked up. I feel like we're not retreading old ground anymore. The stakes are a little bit higher. You can't easily guess what's about to happen. So I'm really excited to see what's going on with Poison Ivy after last issue's cliffhanger, and just the way things went about. Simon Saint's got some stuff up his sleeve. So we're going to see how that goes with Batman issue 116. It's got a cover price of $4.99. I'm getting the cover A. And next up is another Batman Black Label book. This is Batman Reptilian, issue number 5. This one's written by Garth Ennis with artwork by Liam Sharp. I'm collecting these issues just so I don't have to buy the hardcover later. The series is a little bit dark for my taste right now. I'll probably be in the mood to read something like that by the time it wraps up, coincidentally enough. So that's got a cover price of $4.99. And I'm just getting the cover A. And lastly, the last book on my DC Comics pull list almost didn't make the cut, but it's my man Tom Taylor, and I gotta give Tom Taylor a shot. This is Dark Knights of Steel, issue number 1. Like I said, written by Tom Taylor with art by Yasmin Putri. I love Yasmin Putri's artwork she's done covers for things that I've seen. I don't know if I've seen her do interiors on anything that I've read so far. So I'm excited to see what this looks like. But this is basically billed as like high fantasy with superheroes. So think something like Lord of the Rings or like Camelot or King Arthur, all that type of stuff, right? And that stuff is usually so far out of my wheelhouse. But because there are superheroes and because Tom Taylor's writing it, I'm going to give at least issue 1 a shot. The book isn't on my pull list, but I am picking up that one issue. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe it'll earn its spot. But that's got a cover price of $4.99. And this cover A is pretty dope. But if I'm only going to get one issue, I got to go with this cover B cardstock variant by Joshua Middleton. It's just, the Dark Knight as an actual knight on a horse. Like, come on. Love that cover. And that's going to do it for my DC Comics pull list. It's got a cover price of $4.99. Like I said, I'm getting that cover B. So my DC Comics this week are going to cost me a grand total of $23. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's move on to Marvel Comics, where I have 0 books on the Marvel Comics pull list. I was excited about The Thing #1, but that's not coming out until next week. So with all the new #1s moved to next week, there's really nothing that I'm currently following that's coming out from Marvel this week. I don't think there's been a week where I haven't bought a Marvel comic in a very long time. So that's interesting. My Marvel comics are going to cost me $0 this week. And so now let's move on to the indies, where I have more than made up for my Marvel total. First up from Robert Kirkman and Chris Samney is Firepower. I'm still catching up, but it's still action-packed. It definitely has its lows and its peaks, but it's been straightforward storytelling, steady so far, and I love the artwork. So Firepower number 17's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm getting the cover A. Next up is a book that should not have made my list, but you guys convinced me to try it out last month, and here we are with issue number 2 in a short week. So this is Primordial number 2 from Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino. This is the first time I've read a Jeff Lemire book, and issue 1 started off kind of slow for me, and then all of a sudden it just got twisting, and by the end I was like, yo, what's going to happen with this? So we've got this historical fiction about what happened with the space program and the animals that we sent to space that we were told died in orbit. Perhaps that's not what happened. And so in issue 2, we're going to pick up with these animals. I think it's a chimp and a dog. We're going to see exactly what happened to them, or, in the comic. So I'm super excited about Primordial number 2. It's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm getting cover A. And moving on, also from Image Comics this week, we got Radiant Black number 9. Radiant Black is just one of those series you just don't see coming. You never see it coming, and it's just awesome. That's really all I can say. It's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm getting the cover A on that one as well. And here's one that moved from last week. Spawn 323 was supposed to come out last week. They moved it up to this week. As you know from last week, I'm getting this Todd McFarlane cover B. I really like it still. I still like the Todd McFarlane cover B, and that's the one I'm getting. It's got a cover price of $2.99. And next up from Image and Skybound, Man, is everything an Image book? I think all my indies are Image books this week, but from Image and Skybound is The Walking Dead Deluxe, issue number 26. Now, again, I've never read The Walking Dead. I decided to grab these because I love the David Finch covers, I love the extras, and I love the fact that this series is being reproduced in color. Now, if you've read Walking Dead or you're on the fence about whether or not you want to start the series, my homie JP from Organic Price Books did just do a full review of the full series on his YouTube channel. So check that out. I'll leave the link in the description. But Walking Dead 26, Walking Dead Deluxe 26 has a cover price of $3.99. I'm getting the cover A. And lastly, the last book on my indie and creator on pull list is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Best of April O'Neil. Now, TMNT has been doing these best of books for what feels like 2 years now. We had Leonardo, Raph, Mikey, Donatello. We had Master Splinter. We had Casey Jones, and we are finally rounding out the bunch with April O'Neil. Unless they do like a best of Bebop and Rocksteady or a best of Baxter Stockman, and who knows? They might do that. They probably will do a best of Shredder now that I'm thinking maybe we're not done with this series. But I've been enjoying them so far. Nice little anthologies. They span the original Mirage days, a couple of the other reboots, as well as the new IDW series. So if you've been looking to get into the Turtles, you've got a favorite Turtle, check out that series. But this one's The Best of April O'Neil. It's got a cover price of $5.99. I'm getting cover A. I think there's only a cover A. You should get that too, though. And that's it. That's it for my independent, creator-owned, and smaller publisher pull list. If I just stick to that list, those books are going to cost me $25. So if you're doing the math at home, you've seen that I've got a grand total this week of $48. I'm under budget. This is awesome. There were a couple of books that I added to the list when I realized how short of a week it was, like Primordial. I wasn't going to pick up Primordial, but because it's a short week, I went ahead and grabbed it. And Dark Knights of Steel, I wasn't going to give that one a shot either, but it made the list. Some notable books that didn't make my list this week. Batman Superman, The Authority Special, #1. This is a one-shot tying into all the stuff that was going on with Grant Morrison's Superman, The Authority. Apparently that stuff is going to be kind of woven into the mainline DC universe. So there might be some interesting things going on in that one shot. I'm just not interested enough to go over budget to grab it. It's got a cover price of $5.99 if you're interested, though. Crossover, #9. Crossover had been a great series, but I decided to drop at issue 7. Issue 7 didn't really, it wasn't really in main continuity. It was a whole separate thing. And they picked up again with a new story arc starting with issue #8. I liked it. I just felt like it wasn't accomplishing what it needed to keep my interest. So Crossover #9 is out this week, and I know a lot of other people do still like it. So be aware. The Silver Coin #6 is out this week. Originally, it was billed as just a 5-issue miniseries, but it basically got picked up as an ongoing, and it is an anthology. So each issue you can read independently of the last. So if you're interested in that, pick up with a brand new story arc starting this week for the Silver Coin #6. And the last book that I decided I'm not grabbing this week from Tom King and DC Comics is Human Target #1. It's another one of those Tom King 12-issue maxi series. And here's what always happens. It's some character that I've never heard of, I've never read about, right? I've heard of him, but I've never read about him. In this case, I didn't know who the Human Target was, right? But some character that I hadn't heard of, and it's really interesting. The first issue grabs you. Second issue is even better. The third issue is pretty good. The fourth issue, you get lost, right? And then you're waiting for the series to like catch you up because you don't know anything about this character. And by the time it ends, you're like, this probably would have read better altogether. Well, I've done that like 3 times with Tom King. I'm not doing it this time. Human Target #1, I'm not grabbing, but it's got a cover price of $4.99 in case you're interested. So those were the notable books that I knew I was not grabbing this week. But what's on your pull list this week? Is one of your titles on the noticeably absent list? If so, let me know what it is. And if you want to talk comics with me all the time, then you should join the K Squad on Facebook or on Discord. Now, once again, if you live in the Triangle area and you're interested in any of these books, then you should walk into an Ultimate Comics location and grab them. You can start a pull list where you get 10% off as a new subscriber or as a subscriber in general. And all the staff members at each location will really, really help you out. They're great. I promise they're great. I literally have been shopping there since I started buying comics. So that's it for today's video. Hope you saw something you liked in this video. And if not, hey, that's cool. You can always buy what you like. Just make sure you read what you buy and be nice to others, because kindness makes the world go round. Peace.